Hello, this is my review of Rey Mysterio's DVD and Shawn Michaels one, which I spent Christmas Day watching. First of all, I'll start with the Rey Mysterio one. I'll just start off with the package. It's all very nice and good and pretty and all that. But in the inside booklet, I'll just start with the basic package, and I'll go on to the matches later. It has some of the it has some typos. Instead of having Eddie Guerrero with an O on the end, it says Eddie Guerrero and Chavo Guerrero instead of O at the end. I don't know what that is. Maybe that's whatever. But it's not just that. Instead of having Halloween Havoc, for one of the things, it has Halloween House. I don't know what the hell that is. This is pretty high budget DVD, so you'd think they'd get it right, but no. Anyway, enough of that. I'll start off with the matches. It's the sorry. It's the WCW and ECW and AAA match, which will really sell this DVD to you. They are all worth their lengthy, good, high-paced matches. Everything that was good about WCW's Cruiserweight division is on this DVD, and the ECW matches are pretty good too. Keep in mind there's only a DVD and a half of 3 DVDs that are these WCW and ECW Cruiserweight matches. Even then, it is very good and it's worth it. But the WWE matches, once you start watching those, you start to remember why you didn't like him, or why you started to despise Rey Mysterio. Because as you watch him, you see the WWE style come out, Rey Mysterio more like, instead of doing, head scissors takedown, he'll be punching and kicking someone around the ring and stuff like a heavyweight, and you gradually see him get fatter and fatter. I mean, there are good matches, like his match against Kurt Angle. Is a good match. His match at WrestleMania 22, where he wins the title, undeservedly so, I might add. And, they're good matches. Not a lot of them are good matches. They're pretty average. Once you've watched his WCW matches and then you watch his WWE matches, it reminds you why they don't put much wrestling from other companies on a DVD. Like Shawn Michaels' one, they don't put much things from they don't put much other work in it, and they do same thing with other DVDs like Chris Benoit. They don't put much of his other work in there. They like to mainly focus on the WWE part, because the WCW matches really do make the WWE matches look bad in comparison. Hold on a sec. And so do the ECW matches, of course. Having said that, they are still good WWE matches, but they're just nothing to scream about. But definitely, if you want to pick this up, I got it for about $40, which is pretty pricey, even down here. But the WCW and ECW matches are very worth it. As I said, it reminds you of why you liked him. But the most annoying match is the world title match, because you do hear the fans boo him even when he wins the title, because everyone knew he just got the title by saying Eddie's name a lot, and he won it because he used Eddie's name a lot. Next, I'll talk about Shawn Michaels' DVD. Now, this isn't just 3 DVDs of matches, as when it was announced they were going to be doing this. That's what a lot of people thought was going to happen. These DVDs should work hand in hand with the From the Vault collection. The From the Vault collection was his highest profile matches, so that you couldn't put those matches on here again because it would just be a waste. So they do put a lot of his other stuff on here, and the first disc is the story of wrestling. It is a good documentary, but it does leave a lot of things out. Like, it doesn't talk about his wrestling school, and even in the deleted scenes where there are other stuff, they purposely don't mention things. Like, they talk about his school and they go, oh, it produced like about 4 great wrestlers, except they only mention 2. The reason for that is because one of them was American Dragon, and obviously they don't want to mention people from other companies and stuff, so that's fine. But if you really want to get a lot of Shawn Michaels' story in more detail, and not just have wrestlers basically, because a lot of it's just like guys like Triple H and Vince McMahon and all that shit, saying, oh, he's untouchable in terms of talent, and he was untouchable in terms of talent, and he had a bad attitude. We already knew that. You're just wasting more time telling us that. You could have said it once, and that would have been sufficient. But they say it over and over again. Whereas in the book, you really get Shawn Michaels' perspective, and he isn't going, "I was the best and I was untouchable." You just get the story, and the book is really good. It's also called Heartbreak and Triumph, like this DVD here is called. Once again, there's a typo in the little book which gives you matches. In Your House, Shawn Michaels versus Jeff Jarrett. Ooh, it's Jarrett is spelled JARRETTL or line or something after it. I don't know what the hell that is. It is quite irritating because this is a high budget DVD. As for the matches, they aren't his most high profile matches. These are more the best matches he's felt he's had. I was a little surprised they put the match with Jeff Jarrett in there as well as the match with Kurt Angle, but they've been keeping him in things. They haven't really been editing him out because his work was so good. Whereas with other workers who have left gone to other companies, they do take the work out. It does have I think it's his first match. I'm not entirely sure, against Billy Jack Haynes, and he does really remind me of Bryan Danielson, because back then 5'11" would have been what 5'9", which is Bryan Danielson's height and sort of size, is now. Shawn Michaels was considered a real small guy, just like Bryan Danielson today is considered a small guy, but not too small to not be able to wrestle. Same thing with Shawn Michaels. And you do, Bryan Danielson's run up the turnbuckle and does a backflip over people or whatever. Shawn Michaels does this move, and he looks a lot like Bryan Danielson when he does it. Of course, these matches were called on the fly, so he does this flip, and the guy's just standing behind him and just puts him in a sleeper, full Nelson. So the backflip really served no purpose in the match. But the crowd went nuts for it, because back then nobody ever seen that. And people go nuts over it today when fucking Alex Shelley does it up a table, which would be easier than doing it up turnbuckle pads. But Shawn Michaels was doing it in 1985. It's got 2 AWA matches, which are pretty good. When they win the titles and when they're defending the titles. A lot of the early 90s matches and one late 80s matches with the Rockers against Brainbusters. Lots of Rockers matches in this. It's also got the Rockers reunion, which I thought they could have left off, from Raw 2005 against La Resistance. Royal Rumble 95 is a part of it, which isn't. If you've got Ric Flair's DVD and watched the Royal Rumble from that Royal Rumble was really good because you had so much big names, but the biggest names in this Royal Rumble were Shawn Michaels, Davey Boy Smith, Lex Luger, other guys. See, that's the thing, and there aren't a lot of big names there. A lot of guys, Viscera, who's in it, King Kong Bundy, but this was when WWE didn't have a lot of big names. So you watch it, and you think, often you'll think to yourself, damn, I remember him, he sucked. A lot of the time, there wasn't a lot of great talent. And they had a lot of big guys with no names, like, you had Atom Bomb and Crush, and, these guys who were like 6'8" or something, and just didn't have a name, but, they were trying to push as the next big thing or whatever, and, they all went nowhere. But, overall, it is a good Royal Rumble. The match is really there just for the historic significance, not for the actual wrestling match, because it is pretty boring. It is basically just people punching each other around, and then, Viscera comes out, or Mabel, or Big Davey, or whatever the fuck you want to call him. The best part about it, that is, he's wearing a shirt. So be thankful for that. His match against Jeff Jarrett is surprisingly good for the Intercontinental title. Shawn Michaels vs. British Bulldog is pretty good for the WWE Championship, but then it keeps in the bit where Warrior does a run in at the end. And overall this is a pretty good DVD. And it's got Shawn Michaels vs. John Cena from earlier this year. Anyway, thanks for watching.